going to have a look through the charts. We'll probably cover a few things we talked about last week, and there's a few new interesting ones setting up also. So we'll get right into it. So basically what we've got here is Pound Oz on the weekly chart. We've been watching this uptrend channel, and now we've got this short time frame downtrend channel. When I say short time frame, it's still weekly, which means it's still a little bit higher time frame, I guess. But we're just going down in this bigger channel is my point. I think when we get here, we'll probably come back up. So I was expecting price to roll over here at about this 50% level. It didn't. It crashed all the way up through the 61.8, and now it's starting to correspond with this downtrend. I thought it would continue down here last week. I did actually get an entry in here, and I got stopped out. But I'm going to take another go at it up here. There's a bit of daily price action in that area, and the price is opened as a small gap down. So we'll just drop down and have a quick look. So we're going to go back to daily. So you can see on here daily price has come all the way down here, and we've got retracement up to the 78.6, and then we've got this nice pin bar that's formed right here. So price has rolled over. So what I'm going to do, I know price is heading down, it's probably getting away from me a bit this morning, but my entry will be at the 50% retracement of this pin bar. I will put a sell stop entry here, and I will have a stop loss just outside the top here. Alright, so if price comes back up, I'll be selling. I'll be looking at these levels down here. So if we just go back up onto a weekly, you can see it a bit clearer. So sell, it was here. We got about, it was about a 60 pip stop loss, and we'll be chasing levels down here. I'll probably chase the fractal low. It's around the 1100 mark. Just going to bring up the calculator. So we've got 1100 pips divided by, let's say, a 65 pip stop loss. We've got 16 to 1, which is an excellent trade. So we'll be looking to get into that at some time today. I'll be looking for a H4 entry if possible, or maybe just a blind entry on the daily. If I can get a H4 entry, it'll get a tighter stop, which will increase that risk to reward, but we'll just see how that goes later in the day. So that's trade number one I'm looking at. I'm going to skip up to USD CAD. Now, we talked about USD CAD last week. We're in this trade. We got a nice entry, and I'll show you what happened. If you remember, we got this weekly US CAD, we got this downtrend, and we got a break of this, and we're going to retest on the outside, in my opinion. So price is coming back into these levels. Now I was looking for an entry. I couldn't get one up in here, but I did find a heads and shoulders in here, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder on the lower time frames. And we were looking at getting in on the top of the right shoulder, which was here, which we did. So we're going to just drop down. So you can see here, daily reversal. This is the break on the weekly, and then the retest. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now we got this doji on the daily, which was Wednesday, Thursday last week, and this is Friday's move. So we got a retracement entry on here, got our stops just outside the top, and Friday alone we got a 3.9 to 1. I'm not going to close it. I'm going to be holding on down to these levels. This trade is going to work out to be a 12% trade if it plays out down to these levels. So for you guys, if you didn't get this entry last week and you're looking for a second chance, if price comes through and breaks this neckline, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, break, retest, over here somewhere. Let's just put a little level in there. Break the neckline, retest under here, continue to get short. So I'll just drop this in. So the guys that got in here, we were looking at 450 pips. For the guys that are going to get on the retest, 270 pips. You get a nice tight stop. Doesn't have a high trading range on the USD CAD. I managed to get a 36 pip stop loss and a 450 pip move thereabouts. So I'm happy with that. And this trade will take 3 or 4 weeks to play out. So it's just a matter of, it's a set and forget trade. Just forget about now. You don't get too excited. Yes, it's sitting at just under 4% reward, 1% risk. But in trading, you got to let the winners run. So we're just going to see if it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out, but I'm pretty confident this one will run down to that breakout level. Alright, so that's the second one we're looking at the minute. Another interesting one, which could possibly show a entry this week, is Pound New Zealand. Again, got a reversal heads and shoulders, so it didn't look like much on the weekly, so we won't spend much time there. But we got here on the daily, so Pound New Zealand, daily, got a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, neckline, break, now here retest. So we've got a nice doji here, spinning top, whatever you like to call it. So I just want to look left for a minute. So right here at this level, look left, guys. So we've got resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance. So this is a key level right through the chart for a long way back. So I'm expecting here, like this doji, and price is already starting to show some signs of coming down this morning. So here, short, down to this neckline. So you can trade that. That's 350 pips short. If price comes back up to here, I will sell. I probably should have sold early this morning. I'm more interested, however, in the retest on the neckline, because I think overall it's a long trade. So once price tests this neckline, it is going to get long. Remember, heads and shoulders pattern, depth of the head is the sets for the target. So we've got 830 odd pips, so say 800. Pound New Zealand's got a fairly high trading range. You probably have to put a 65, 70 pip stop. So we've got, say, 800. Excuse me. 800 divided by, say, 65. Yeah, 12%. That's a good one there. You know, what did it take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to come up here. It'll take similar amount to come back down. You know, week and a half. You get you to probably daily price action in here. It'd be better if you got weekly. You might get price come down here, and then in the second week it'll form a doji or a pin bar or something, and then you'd be getting long. So that'd be good. So anyone that's fairly aggressive trader, you can get short on the way in, and then you can get long on the way out. All right. So that's the 3 trading opportunities for the week that I can see. But I am just going to skip up to pound US for a second, because I've been watching this for a long time. So you can have a look at it weekly. I personally believe that this is a big rounding bottom pattern. Now I'll just I'll give you an even bigger picture. So we go here. We had this Fibonacci. We got 78.6 retracement in here. So price bounced. I'll just drop that off. It's a long way up. And I've been watching this. I thought the rounding bottom was going to start up here, but it's come in. It's put a second one in. And if you do look on a weekly, you can potentially say we've got a left shoulder, a head, potential right shoulder. We drop back to daily. This for me is just one big rounding bottom pattern. So I'm not going to trade this short, but I think there's probably a high probability that we'll come back into here. That's 541 pips short. So just imagine, let's have a quick look what I got. You know, support, resistance, support, resistance, 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 resistance. This is very strong area for resistance. It'll push down here, and then you got support, and then it'll bounce maybe once or twice. It'll start putting in higher highs. Once this rounding bottom, I'm just going to get rid of that out of the way again. Once this rounding bottom starts to get some momentum, which I think pound overall is probably going to be a little bit bullish. So I think the Brexit coming up is priced in. So it's a nice run long. I've already written it in here. But back to the top of that rounding pattern, 650 pips. There's going to be heaps of long opportunities up here through the next 6 to 7 months. So I am going to be watching this closely. I don't know that I'll trade it short, but I certainly will be trading it long out of here. So there's nothing for this week, maybe nothing for the next week. Unless we get a nice strong weekly pin bar in here or something, we might consider short. But just a good one to keep an eye on, because there's going to be plenty of opportunities once we know the direction of the market overall. So that's really all I've got for you guys. So last week, not too bad overall. We got stopped out on 1%, but we're 4% up in another one, so we're 3% up for the week. Again, depending on how much money you're putting on a trade, is how much money you're going to be putting in the bank. But let's assume we're going around $5,000 at 1% risk. So that's around $15,000 for the week. And there's some opportunities for pound Oz to get short, and a second entry on USD CAD if you guys are keen. All right, guys, wrap up there. Have a good week. Hope you make some money, and I will talk to you again next week. Okay, bye.